Welcome back, Hive Mind. This is Shalazar with Hive Mind Gaming, coming at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. We've got some cool stuff coming down the line. They've just released a video telling about all the stuff that's coming out. That's going to be in my next video. I wanted to do this video first, which is the new champions coming in the next wave of DOOMTOWER. That's right. So if you're caught up on if you've done all the quests to get your epic champions and to get your legendary champions from DOOMTOWER, so like Tia here or Rianne the Conjurer, she's the third epic, and of course then you've got the third legendary, which is the guy that is going to be a long time before I get him, which is Gomlock, Skyhide. If you're in line to get these guys when the next DOOMTOWER, after the first couple rooms and side rooms in DOOMTOWER, when the next wave comes out, then it's automatically going to go into a new set of champions, both epic and legendary. So what this video is looking at those. Now, I've seen the art on these guys, but I haven't actually read their abilities, so let's get into it. First, we've got, and here's the thing, guys, I don't know what order they're going to release them in, so I don't know which one of these epics you're going to get first once you get the first three epics and then start on the next three. I'm not sure which one you're going to get first, but here we have a Dark Elf epic attack magic affinity champion, Gweneth, and her A1 is Infiltrator, attacks all enemies. This attack will not trigger counterattacks. Wow. Does that mean that she can solo the Scarab King? Because if she doesn't trigger counterattacks, that means she doesn't need a shield to just beat that guy down. So depending on how tanky you could get her, it seems like you could possibly send her in and just solo the Scarab boss. Let's see what the rest of her kit looks like. Her A2, Apathy, attacks one enemy. Before attacking, has an 80% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff on the target for 2 turns. Heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted, then heals all allies with any surplus heal. Okay, interesting. And that's on a 3-turn cooldown. And then her A3, Flow of Malaise. I don't know. Transfers all debuffs from this champion to one target enemy, then attacks that enemy, ignores 10% of the target's defense for each debuff they are under, and that's on a 5-turn cooldown, which I'm sure books down. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Her kit is kind of neat. It just depends on how beefy she's gonna be to be able to stay alive. I mean, she's got a self-heal, but against the Scarab King, she needs a shield. I mean, maybe throw some of those jewelry pieces where after an attack she gets a shield, maybe, because she could do her Infiltrator, and then after her Infiltrator, because she doesn't cause counterattacks, so she attacks with the Infiltrator, gets the shield because of the jewelry pieces, and then she'll have the shield for the next attack to do the Apathy to heal herself. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think about her. All right, next we've got a Shadowkin epic that is an attack void, Taya. She's got an A1, Daze Powder, attack one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Just a single attack, though. Let's see. Venom Kunai, Kune? I don't know. I have no clue, guys. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 75% chance, which probably books up, of placing a 5% poison debuff for 2 turns. And that probably books down to a 3-turn cooldown. And Blood Boil is a 3, attacks 1 enemy, has a 75% chance, which probably books up to 100, of instantly activating any poison debuffs and HP burn debuffs on the target. Also has a 75% chance of placing a 100% heal reduction debuff for 2 turns. And that's on a 4-turn cooldown, which probably books down to a 3. So who cares about the heal reduction, but the ability to instantly activate poison debuffs and HP burn debuffs on a target is pretty good. Not really a big deal. Well, I mean, I guess it's different than the poison explosions. I mean, this is just activating any poison and HP. I don't know. I mean, that could be pretty strong, I guess. That could be pretty solid. All right, and then lastly, the man himself. We don't know what faction he is. His name is Dark Kyle. Kyle, by the way, not Kale. Probably not going to call him that. I'm probably just going to continue calling him Kale. But Dark Kyle, we've been saying it wrong this whole time. He's Dark Kyle. Well, the other two that are Dark Elaine and Dark, whatever the other one was, they're both undead. They're both in the undead, or they're both dead. So the question is Dark Kyle dead, or is he a dark elf? I mean, he doesn't really look dead here. He kind of looks the same. He just looks like he got a few spiky bits, but I mean, other than that, he looks the same. He doesn't look all pale and bluish like the 2 ladies do. But anyway, so he's an epic attack magic affinity. His A1 Weaver of Woes attacks 1 enemy 3 times. Ooh, a 3-hitter. Each hit has a 25% chance of instantly activate 2 poison debuffs, or 1 poison debuff and 1 HP burn debuff. Okay, so kind of like the other girl, but the other girl, she activates all of them, but this is his A1. Okay, ouch. Nice. His A2, Binding Darkness, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Each critical hit also has a 75% chance, and these probably book up to a 100% chance of increasing the duration of all the debuffs on the target by 1 turn. Nice. Nice. A debuff extender. Fantastic. On a epic. Wow, if that books up to 100%, that's pretty solid. And that's on a cooldown, a 4-turn cooldown that probably books down to a 3. Reality Acid on his A3 has a 75% chance, probably books up to 100% chance, of placing 3 5% poison debuffs and a 25% poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Okay, so has a 75% chance. So it doesn't say if it's single target or AoE. So my guess is probably it's just a single target. It's on a 4-turn cooldown that books down to a 3. That's still pretty good. I mean, it would be completely broken if it was on AoE, but still. All right, his A4 is a passive, Delirium, decreases the crit rate of enemies under 2 or more poison debuffs by 15%. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. That's crazy. 15%, minus 15% crit rate. if you have a poison on you. And Kale's on the other team. That is insane. Oh my god. That is fantastic. That is a great ability. Great passive. Wow, he is so good. He is really good. Odds are he's probably going to be the third epic that we get. Alright, next we got our first legendary from the orcs. Attack Spirit. Oh, he's an Attack Spirit. Interesting. He looks kind of cool. Lots of spiky bits on him. Alright. Varl the Destroyer. His A1, Ravaging Leech, attacks one enemy, heals this champion by 30% of the damage inflicted. Okay, so self-heal on his A1. His A2, Lay Waste, attacks all enemies, has a 75%, which will more than likely book up to 100, of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns, also places a 50% decreased attack debuff. Wow, a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns on those enemies who receive a weakened debuff. Okay, so if you receive the weakened debuff, you automatically receive the decreased attack. It's on a 4-turn cooldown, probably books down to a 3. Calamity Torrent is his A3. Attacks one enemy, will ignore 30% of the target's defense. Wow. Increases the target's max HP by 50% of the damage inflicted. By 50% of the damage inflicted. That's crazy. So it's going to ignore 30% and decrease the max HP by 50% of that damage. Because it's probably going to hit hard. This ability is probably going to hit really stinking hard. Places a block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn if the attack kills an enemy. Okay, that's cool. Wow. All right. A4, Mass Murder passive. That is a great name for an ability. Increases this champion's attack by 10% each time they use an active skill. Stacks up to 100%, resets each round. Wow. That's pretty good. That's a pretty solid passive. I'm not sure why it would be called Mass Murder, but seems like that would be something to do with AoE. But I mean, hey, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good kit. All right, next we've got a Lizardman, kind of like Vergumcar, I guess. I like the dog lizards. He's a Lizardman, HP Magic Affinity, Basatha. He is A1, Death Roll, attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. Nice decrease attack on his A1, fantastic. It's only 40% though, so probably books up to probably a 50 or 60%, but still, that sucks that it's a percentage chance, being that he's a legendary, because I doubt it's gonna book up to 100%, starting at 40. His A2, God Beast's Boon, places a 25% strengthen buff and a 15% continuous heal buff on all allies for two turns. Okay, that's cool. Also places a shield buff for 2 turns equal to 25% of this champion's HP on allies under Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, or Stun debuffs. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Those are pretty good buffs, actually. That's on a 4-turn cooldown. Probably books down to a 3-turn. His A3, Staggering Heft, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, which probably books up to a 100% chance, of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn and decreasing each enemy's turn meter by 30%. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance. So it's attacking, then has a chance to stun and decreases their turn meter. That's a big hit. That's a big ability. Wow, an AoE stun and turn meter reduction. Ouch. Ouch. That's on a 5-turn cooldown. Probably books down to a 3 or maybe a 4 since it's doing so much. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the rest of his kit is okay, but that ability makes him wow good. That is a really good ability. His A4 Soul Keeper is a passive. Whenever an enemy is revived, has a 75% chance, which probably books up to a 100% chance, of placing a stun debuff on them for 1 turn. This effect cannot be resisted or blocked. Wow. And it's on a 1-turn cooldown, so I guess someone that revives everybody, only one of them? Yeah, I'd say only one of them gets the stun, since it's got a 1-turn cooldown. Alright, let's... lastly, we've got a Demonspawn Legendary HP Force Affinity champ. This dude looks cool. I mean, really cool. Vassal of the Seal. His A1, Abyssal Seal, attacks one enemy, places a HP burn debuff on the target for 2 turns if they are under a True Fear debuff or a Decrease Attack debuff. Alright, so the HP burn only gets placed if the True Fear or Decrease Attack's already on the target. I don't know if I like that. Also places a shield buff on this champion for 2 turns equal to 10% of their max HP. I mean, he's an HP champ, so he's probably going to be stacking some HP. So, I mean, that's probably not too bad. Infernal Darkness is his A2, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance, it definitely books up to 100 guaranteed, of placing a True Fear debuff and a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Wow, and that's a AoE, but that's on a 5-turn cooldown. I hope that books down to a 3. That's got to book down to a 3, or that, I mean, it's got to. So that's definitely going to help him with his A1, but it really depends on what it books down to, because 5 turns, that just makes his A1 not viable at all. But if it booked down to 3, then that's 2 turns that he can Abyssal Seal someone, and then I don't know. We'll have to see how it books down. All right, it's A3, Demon Possession. Good name for an ability. Balances the HP of all allies. Okay, so kind of like Shanaisha. The HP levels of all allies will be brought up to the level of the ally with the highest HP. Okay, so not like Shanaisha's. Shanaisha's, it literally balances them, and then she gets a bump afterward. Whoever she targets gets an extra bump. After balancing HP, grants an extra turn. Okay, so after balancing HP for Shanaisha, she gives a little extra life to whoever she targeted. On this one, he gets an extra turn, which is awesome. This is on a 6-turn cooldown. My guess it probably books down to a 3 or 4-turn cooldown. Yeah, that's not a bad ability. But the cool thing is, it takes the person who has the most HP and brings everybody up to that level. Where I think Shanaisha's is a little different. Hers, I think, balances between all the numbers, so it brings down. I don't know. I'll have to reread Shanaisha's. All right, his A4, Legion of Doom. Nice. Passive receives 20% less damage from champions from Banner Lords, High Elf, and Sacred Order factions. Interesting. All right. If there are 2 or more Demonspawn champions on the team alongside this champion, increase the crit damage of all Demonspawn champions on the team by 20%. Crit damage increase only works when this champion is live. Wow. So you put Kandrathon and Kaimar. Oh my god, there's so many good There's so many good Demonspawn champions. I mean, that would make Faction Wars is going to be solid, because that was literally the last faction I had to beat to get Lydia. Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Of course, I mean, he's probably the 6th legendary you have to get in DOOMTOWER, so the odds of getting this guy are probably very slim for most people, most players. So, but man, that is so good. That is really good. But that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, tell me what you guys think of these new champions. I mean, they look pretty, some of them look really good. Some of them, I don't know. We'll have to play with them before we get a final verdict on them. But some of those guys look really good. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also, there is a one-day event going on, Guaranteed Champion, which is Geomancer. He's a great DPS champ for Clan Boss, but is he worth 40 Ancient Shards? Keep in mind, your chance of pulling an epic or legendary is not changed. You still only have the 8% and 0.5% to pull a legendary. So keep that in mind when you're deciding to do this. If you've already got him, congratulations, don't worry about it. If you've got the shards to spare, it might be worth pulling for this guy if you're having trouble in your clan boss. I wouldn't pull him for any other reason but clan boss if you need more DPS in your clan boss. So other than that, guys, that's it for this video. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, hit the like button and join the Hive by hitting the subscribe button, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.